What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. 3-division world champion Gervonta "Tank" Davis is back in action on a Sunday night as he takes on top 10 lightweight contender Isaac Cruz. The fight's gonna take place in Los Angeles, California, in the Staples Center. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of celebrities in attendance for that fight. I don't know if the Lakers playing the night after or a day or two after, or maybe the Lakers are on a road trip. Maybe he won't be in attendance, but you never know, man. You might see the King James in the attendance for this fight between Gervonta "Tank" Davis. He seems to make a connection with the celebrity crowds, as he had a lot of celebrities in attendance for his fight in Atlanta, Georgia, aka the ATL, when he stopped Mario Barrios. So it'll be interesting to see when they get the cameras roaming throughout the crowd, how many celebrities will be in attendance for this particular matchup. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Now, his opponent is Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz replaced Rolly Romero. And I ain't gonna lie, man, it was kind of like a downer for me, man, when Romero had the situation he had with multiple women accusing him of rape, you know, and hopefully those women will have their day in court and the truth will come out and justice will be served. I'm just gonna leave that at that, but we will see what happens and we will see what transpires. But he got replaced by Isaac Cruz. Now, I actually seen Isaac Cruz live in living color, basically. I went to his last fight. He was on the undercard of the Jamal Charlo Juan Macias Montiel fight, and that was a great fight, man. That was a fight of the year candidate, actually. For a one-sided fight, it was very entertaining, man. That guy Montiel took a lot of punches and kept coming forward, kept putting the pressure on Jamal, and he hurt Jamal late in that fight too with some body shots. So it was a great matchup, man. Great fight. But when you watched Isaac Cruz, man, I was like, this little short guy can fight, man. He can fight. As he beat Vargas. Vargas was the favorite going into that fight. A lot of people was talking about Vargas was going to get lined up for a real big fight after this fight with Isaac Cruz. They thought he was going to be able to take care of business and move on to a bigger name. But he got upset. Isaac Cruz was able to get inside his punches and go to the body, force him back, and was basically able to outwork him to a unanimous decision victory on the undercard of Charlo Montiel. With all that being said, man, you know, they got a narrative forming around Isaac Cruz that he's some kind of power puncher. Nah, he ain't no power puncher. No. He ain't no power puncher. Is he a solid puncher? Of course he is. But he's not no power puncher. All that, so he's the Mexican Mike Tyson. Hell to the no. The power advantage is definitely going to Gervonta "Tank" Davis. He got 24 knockouts in 25 fights. Now, Isaac Cruz is 22-1-1 with 15 KOs. So he got 15 KOs in 24 fights, and he ain't fought the competition that Gervonta "Tank" Davis had fought. The best name on his resume is the last guy he fought was Vargas. He actually lost to a guy early on in his career that had a 7-5 record. Now, I ain't here to say a guy can't get better. You know, he definitely got better throughout his professional career, but he's nowhere near the level of a Gervonta "Tank" Davis. He's stepping up from single A baseball to the major leagues in this situation. And I don't see this fight going past 6 rounds. If Gervonta can't get this guy out in the first half of the fight, that means 6 rounds or less. I'll be very surprised. Very surprised. Because he don't think he have enough power to hurt Gervonta. And if that's not the case, he definitely ain't finna outbox Gervonta. So this guy is basically bringing a knife to a gunfight, in my opinion. Yeah, no. So they trying to blow this guy up, man. I think Rolly would have been a tougher fight because Rolly is a much better puncher. Rolly got 12 knockouts in 14 fights. You can say, well, who Rolly fought? He fought some good guys, man. His last fight, he fought on the undercard of that Jamel Charlo Costano fight. He fought on the card, and the guy he fought was actually didn't even make weight. And the guy was actually a weight class above him on fight night, at least a weight class above him on fight night, and Rolly stopped him. So Rolly, especially at 135 pounds, is a big lightweight, and he's got punching power. So that would have been a much more difficult fight, and he's very not technical. I think that would have played to his advantage. Just like Isaac Cruz is more technical, so he's going to be right there in front of you. You know, he's going to give you some good head movement and stuff like that, man. He's going to be right there in front of you. And Gervonta gonna be able to pick him off, man, coming in and stuff like that, man. With Rolly coming in there throwing wild shots, kind of like a Marcos Maidana, who gave Floyd Mayweather one of his toughest fights of his career both times. Gave him much more trouble than a more technical guy like a Sugar Shane Mosley, who did rock Floyd Mayweather early, but outside of that early part of the fight, Floyd Mayweather put on a boxing display, a boxing clinic on Sugar Shane Mosley. Beat him with ease because he was much more technical than a wild man like a Marcos Maidana, throwing punches from awkward angles. And I think that would have been a problem that I think Gervonta Tank Davis would have figured out, but I think it would allow the fight to go much longer than I anticipate this fight going between himself and Isaac Cruz. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But Gervonta Tank Davis is another bad narrative I hear about him, about he ain't fought nobody. You look at this guy's resume, this guy's got a real good resume. He's been in there with Jose Pedraza, beat him, was an underdog going into that fight, and beat him. I'm gonna tell you, an underrated win. People don't want to give him credit for this win, man, but Ricardo Nunez is a good fighter. To me, he's a top 10 fighter. I believe Nunez is better than Isaac Cruz, the guy he's fighting Sunday night. Ricardo Nunez was doing good in that fight, but he got cocky and stuff like that, and left his hands down and got caught with a shot. And Gervonta Davis was probing, ducking a lot of his shots. He got lazy, man. He got caught with a big-time shot. And the thing about Gervonta Davis is, if he catches you with a shot, man, you're going to be in serious trouble. You ain't no coming back from that. Once he got you hurt, he's one of the best finishers in boxing outside of Terrence Crawford. And that's what happened to Ricardo Nunez. But that was a good win for him. He defeated a multi-division champion in Leo Santa Cruz. He defeated Mario Barrios, who was undefeated, was definitely a top 5 junior welterweight at the time. He held a minor league belt in the WBA regular belt, but let's not look at all that. Let's look at what was his status in the junior welterweight division when Gervonta fought him. He definitely was a top 5 fighter. You put him behind who was Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis at the time. You probably put him behind Jose Ramirez and maybe Jose Pedraza at that time. That's the only 4 guys that you definitely could have put ahead of Mario Barrios in the junior welterweight division. So that was a good win. The guy's got some good wins. He beat Liam Walsh over there in the UK. Liam Walsh was a top contender at that time. So he has a real strong resume. So people that shitting on his resume, they just hating on him because he's coming up under Mayweather promotion. He's Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s protege, so that has opened doors for him that normally wouldn't be open for fighters. And a lot of people probably don't like that. So with all that being said, man, this guy's, he's played his dues, man. They try to say the same thing about Floyd Mayweather. He ain't fought nobody. And you look at his resume, it's filled with world champions that he beat. He never was undisputed, man. He beat the who's who of boxing during the time that he was reigning. And we definitely just left the Floyd Mayweather Jr. era. Make no mistake about it. With all that being said, man, this fight is a fight that I'm gonna go check out, man. But I'm much more looking forward to the fight before this fight, the day before this fight. And that's the Devin the Dream Haney fight with JoJo Diaz. Oh yeah! I'm much more looking forward to that fight than this fight here. But Gervonta Tank Davis is such a exciting fighter that I'm still gonna go check this fight out, man, and be spending my money up in a sports bar to watch this fight. He's eating on some wings and drinking on a couple of cold ones, and definitely be checking this fight out, man. But make no mistake about it, man. Isaac Cruz, in my opinion, he's not as good as George Kambosos, and he's not as good as JoJo Diaz. So styles make fights. I understand all that. Gervonta Tank Davis said this fight is gonna be like a car crash, and it probably is gonna be a car crash. But you got a freight truck going against a Pinto. It's based in this situation, and Gervonta Tank Davis is the 18-wheeler, and Isaac Cruz is the Pinto. And so it's gonna be a head-on collision, and you're gonna see who gonna basically car gonna get pulled to the side, and you're gonna see another car that ain't gonna be drivable, and they're gonna look for the wrecker to pull that thing to the junkyard, and that's gonna be Isaac Cruz. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Let me know your thoughts about this particular matchup. I like Gervonta Tank Davis inside 6 rounds. I'm just gonna say 6 just to make it even. A 6-round KO, highlight reel knockout, as he knocks out Isaac Cruz to retain his regular WBA lightweight title. After this fight, Gervonta Tank Davis definitely got to get a big name on his next fight. He can't just continue to fight these nondescript opponents, because these opponents he fighting are good fighters, just like Mario Barrios is a good fighter. Isaac Cruz is a top 10 lightweight, but these guys do not have the cachet, and it's gonna get to a point where he's got to get in there with a guy that's at least got the cachet in the sport of boxing and got a brand. So if this next fight has got to be like a George Kambosos or Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. I even settle for Rolando Rolly Romero, because he's made a name, made a splash in the sport of boxing here recently. It's got to be one of them 3 guys in this next fight. He can't be going down the list and fighting these other guys that people really don't know too much about, man. I know why they doing that, because they got a pay scale that they want to pay their opponents, and they got a pay scale that Tank's going to make. Tank going to make at least $5 million. And if that's the case, and you're doing 200,000 plus pay-per-view buys, then that means your opponent can't make no more than about $1 million at the most. Round about in the ballpark of 500,000 to $1 million will be your opponent. So a lot of guys like that with name recognition are not going to come in and fight him for no $500,000 to $1 million to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. And maybe on the back end they walk home with a $1.5 million. They're not going to be willing to do that. They're going to want at least $2 to $3 million guaranteed minimum. So that's going to be part of the problem. But with all that being said, if he gets the highlight reel knockout, that's going to give him more buzz. That's going to enhance his image as a fighter, as a knockout artist, and hopefully then they can upgrade it in his next opponent. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Let me know your thoughts on who you like in this particular matchup, Gervonta Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz. Do I have anybody out there that think Isaac Cruz is going to pull an upset? This would be, in my opinion, one of the biggest upsets in boxing, right alongside of Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson. It'll be much bigger than Kambosos beating Lopez, or even Jojo Diaz beating Devin Haney. It'll be one of the biggest upsets in the sport of boxing. Let me know your thoughts, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend, and I holla.